fans, ASMR Sports, back with something I'm kind of excited to dig into. The other day when I was at the local comic book store here in my hometown of Fargo, North Dakota, I was walking, kind of looking through various boxes they have, and actually this one I think was up on a shelf. And I saw this and I thought, boy, that's pretty cool. Return of the Jedi, Marvel Super Special number 27. Now, I don't know what numbers 1 through 26 would be. If this is like just a part of the Return of the Jedi comic series. Now, this is the official comics adaptation of the greatest space fantasy of all, and this is a magazine size book here, so it's not the kind of Star Wars comics that I think some of you are familiar with. And I don't know what, how this is sort of presented, if this is like a part of the, movie adaptation just in this, and there's the rest of it in other issues, or if like these super specials are, each one is a different movie, and this number 27 has the entire plot of Return of the Jedi in one book, or, something else, but we're going to find out. Paid $8 for this. And then I looked this up on eBay, and it looks like these go for like roughly $10, but that's without like any major condition issues. There was most of those that were like 10 or 11 bucks were pretty dang nice. They looked almost like brand new. This one has like a little tear there, which is funny. They don't really say that. They say corner crease. This is the corner crease. And that looks like more than a tick. That looks like a tear. I don't know what tick really means, if that has a specific meaning that could include tear or something else, because it seems like it's a comic book specific, term, since I've never heard of it in the sports card world. But, yeah, so I think $8 was probably about right for this. Which is kind of nice, if you buy like sports cards at most card dealers, you're basically going to pay like 40 to 50% more than what you would on eBay. So a comic book store that sells things for kind of what they're actually selling for on eBay strikes me as a good deal. There's the back there with Darth Vader standing in front of looks like a battleless Star Destroyer and some other battleships. And some kind of planet. Not the Death Star. So I'm kind of hoping there, So I presume this is from 83 or maybe 84. Contemporary with the Return of the Jedi movie, which came out in 83. I'm hoping there's like ads, for like fun 1983 stuff in here, but there may or may not be. Let's find out. Alright, so a Marvel Super Special magazine. Now the credits based on the film. So there you go, there's the beginning. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. I mean, I kind of think this is going to be the whole thing then, in this one book. Since this is the beginning of the movie, this is not picking up, in the middle or anything. I think the whole movie's going to be here. It's relatively thick, so it's, it does have to cover the whole movie, but that's a lot of content with these full-size pages. Command station. This is ST-321, code clearance blue. Alert. Indoor moon base to deactivate your security shield for approach swiftly. Our passenger is in no mood to wait. There you go. Chapter 1, in the hands of Jabba the Hutt. So I'm sure you've all seen this movie. And these scenes look kind of familiar. This is where they go into Jabba's like little palace and blue, and they present a hologram of Luke. So gosh, I don't think there's going to be any ads in here, which is a little sad for me personally, but perhaps. And then you remember this, like this little kind of like servant person of Jabba, I think, gets like thrown down to the thing below where the big monster is. We'll see, I think, in a moment. And there are going to probably be spoilers in this if you've never seen Return of the Jedi and you want to see it. This is sort of a bounty keeper, or bounty hunter, going to Jabba the Hutt and saying, "Give me Han Solo, who got, frozen in carbonite and sold off to Jabba the Hutt at the end of the Empire Strikes Back." So here we see a bounty hunter with Chewbacca in tow, but that's no bounty hunter. It is in fact Princess Leia, and then she frees Han Solo from his carbonite, and he's blind, so it's a problem. But they're captured. And now she's a slave. And this is where slave Leia gets her little costume, like bikini costume, that is sort of a cultural phenomenon. A lot of people dress up as slave Leia for like Halloween and stuff. And there's the big monster that Luke ends up fighting. If you watch the series Boba Fett, he has one of these monsters that he kind of keeps as a pet. It's like a baby one. This is the sort of like new Disney series Boba Fett, which takes place kind of after Return of the Jedi. Because we'll see Boba Fett here. This is where Luke and Han Solo get brought to the desert to be fed to this like desert monster that lives in the sand here, and of course they don't end up getting eaten, and then slave Leia like takes her chains and strangles Jabba. His tongue like goes out of his mouth as he's gasping his dying breath, and then Boba Fett, like, it's kind of comical in the movie, but like Boba Fett just kind of like gets knocked around and then goes straight into the here it is, into the sand pit, and we sort of think that's the end of him, but then we find out in that Boba Fett series that he actually got out just fine. So yeah, they kick everybody's butt and get the F out of there. And off they go. We should be seeing some Ewoks here shortly. They, of course, were the big stars of Return of the Jedi. And this is the Death Star that's being rebuilt once again after it was destroyed previously. And they're trying to rebuild it so they can get on with their planet-destroying business. And of course, Return of the Jedi is also where we meet Yoda, who Luke Skywalker has some visions. Now, here we go. Here's Endor, where the Ewoks live, and it's, I forget, there's like some kind of like military asset that's near Endor that they can like attack from, you know, that, oh, I think Endor, they were, the Empire was using Endor to operate a shield that protected the Death Star, I think is what it is. So they had to like go to Endor to disable that shield, and so they could attack the Death Star, if I recall. So that's why we meet the Ewoks, who help overthrow the Empire on that base. And of course, Lando Calrissian now is helping out after he led Vader to capture Han Solo in Empire Strikes Back, which is why Han Solo got frozen in carbonite. Thanks for nothing, Lando. So here's the attack on the base. You should see the base shortly. I guess they're not really going to show it. There's the Ewoks. They kind of live in the trees. They have this cool, basically it's like a giant tree city. What could be cooler than that, am I right? Of course, they originally attack our rebel friends who go to them, but quickly change their tune and agree to help at great cost. Of course, the Ewoks are very primitive in their weaponry, and Luke Skywalker is done with his training now as he goes to see Darth Vader. They handcuff him and bring him to see Darth Vader, and this is where he ends up fighting Darth Vader. The final duel, so they're gonna, there's the base right there, that little gray thing. You gotta get inside and jack the place up. Meanwhile, the Emperor is aboard the Death Star, and he's trying to get Luke Skywalker to join the dark side. And Luke's like, hey man, I'm just here to kick my father, but actually he's there to like kind of convince his father to not be a douchebag. And then like the Emperor's like, ooh, Luke Skywalker, I want you to be the leader of the Empire. And then Luke says, F you, I'm fighting my dad, let's go. Let's get it. And then he fights his dad, and he's about to beat him. And then the Emperor's like, yeah, take him out, you're my guy now. And he says, no way, I won't do it. And then let's see, where is it gonna show? Oh yeah, then the Emperor says, alright, I'm gonna kill you with my crazy blue space laser beams from my hands. And he's kicking his butt. Vader's on the ground, having been beaten by his son. But Vader says, get your blue laser hand beams off my kid. Throws him down this big long hole to his presumed death, although we find out later he's not even really damaged by it. And meanwhile, the base is being overtaken. And here's the X-Wing squadron. This is inside the Death Star. There's like this little destroy and it blows the whole thing up. And it's so interesting because all of like the Star Wars stories, I think they're called, which are the movies that they've done in the past like 5-6 years, tell some interesting part of the larger story. And so, the weak point of this, actually, I can't remember if it was the weak point of this second Death Star or the first Death Star, but one of them, the fact that it had a weak point was, known only because there was an engineer who was like a good guy that they basically kidnapped to have him build the Death Star, and he built in a weakness, and then got, news of that weakness to, it was like his daughter or something, and she got that to the Rebel Alliance, so they sort of found out that way, and that's how they destroyed, I think either the first Death Star or this one, but it's, they make like sort of passing reference to how they got the information on the weak point in the actual movies, but like we learned so much more about that. The whole thing, finding the weak point and how it got smuggled out and stuff, and all of this later stuff that's come about, from Disney. So it's kind of cool that we have all that. And, more stuff comes out, it seems, every year, every couple of years at least. I don't know when the next, like, full-length Star Wars movie will come out. Gosh, I'm trying to think what it would. I feel like it's been announced, but I can't remember what it is. I might be wrong though. So there you go. Yeah, they did the whole movie in one little book here, and it makes me wonder what some of the other super specials are. I mean, maybe they're just other movies. Maybe they did, Indiana Jones. Maybe they did. I'm sure they did the other, Star Wars movies. I'll have to look, like, search Marvel Super Special in eBay and see what comes up, but this is, I guess, just the full movie of Return of the Jedi in a single magazine comic book adaptation, so pretty cool. I like this. The only thing I regret is that there are no ads or anything in there, which I always love to see, because it's just a real time capsule to see, like, the things that get advertised. Back in '83, what would that have been? Probably like, like Transformers toys. Or, I don't know. Trying to think what else, could have been like, Cheetos. Could have been like Bazooka bubblegum. Or any kind of like Topps candy. Kind of showed up in comic books. Comic books always had in the '80s, I felt like these, advertisements for these, like, services. I don't know what you call it. It's like a program where you can sell, like, something. I don't know what it was, but magazine subscriptions or something. Like, you can sign up, and then it showed you, like, all the prizes you could get, depending on how many subscriptions you could sell. And so you could, basically go into business that way, get paid in prizes, which seemed like a terrible deal, but I don't know, I remember always seeing those ads in comic books, so it would have been fun to see one of those, but no such luck. I may go back to the comic book store and get like some dollar comics from the 80s, or maybe early 90s, just to look through them and kind of see the ads, and, I guess probably do the content a little bit too, but mostly I want to see the ads. So if that seems interesting, let me know in the comments, and we'll see y'all next time. Please do give a like and subscribe, and we will catch you on the next one. Have a great one.